you motivated? Or what has you stuck? And I think that if we're motivated by the things that we came up with, it's easy to get stuck. If we're motivated by the assignments of other people, I think it's easy to get stuck. But when we are motivated by what God has placed in us, by what He has awakened in us, by dreams and seeds He has placed in us, then I think we have enough to move forward in the difficult times. So I'm thinking about Isaiah 46, where, God is talking about how so many of the other nations around Israel, their gods are made. They'll order a smith, they'll buy some gold, they'll measure out some silver, they'll carve some wood, they form an idol, and then they literally carry the idol on their shoulders or on a cart, or however they transport this idol, and then they bow down to it. They literally worship the thing they made with their own hands, that they paid for with their own money. They cry out to a thing that cannot move even itself, never mind answer their own issues. And the Lord is saying, I am the one who not only put you in your mother's womb, but carried you in your mother's womb and brought you forth. And then he says, so earnestly remember this. Remember the things that I've done. Remember the former things of old. Remember that I am God and there is no one else. I am God and there is none like me. I declare the end and the result from the beginning, and from the ancient times the things that are not yet even done. My counsel shall stand. I will do all my pleasure and purpose. I will bring it to pass. That which I have purposed, I will do. Listen to me, you stiff-hearted, you have lost heart and are far from righteousness. I will bring near my righteousness. It will not be far off. My salvation shall not tarry. So when we think about where do I get momentum? What is motivating me? What is keeping me moving? Here's a notation in the Amplified Bible here that says that He is the same God here in Isaiah 46 He's declaring, I'm the same one that's helped you in the past. Just cry out to me. Just come to me, He's saying. So God is saying here in Isaiah 46, I am able to declare in the beginning how things will turn out in the end. When I was pregnant with Jeremiah, I heard, first of all, 3 times going east over west over a bridge in Fairhaven, Massachusetts, 3 times during the month of March 2003. I heard His name spoken inside me 3 times. Jeremiah, 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 John. And so then when right shortly after that, about a month later, I heard Jeremiah is a repairer of the breach in relationships and a restorer of what is good and right in us. God is his father and will provide for him and protect him. So I received, while I was pregnant, these promises and the name of my son. I didn't even find out till he was born if he was a boy or a girl. But I realized when Michael and I looked up the name Jeremiah, I realized that God was not telling us what to name him. He was introducing us to who he is. He had placed inside Jeremiah his identity that God would bring to pass. In Isaiah 59, the things that he talked about Jeremiah are there described about Jesus. So we're each an aspect, a reflection, a beautiful, unique expression of God himself that he brings to pass. So even in Revelation 1:8 it says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, Jesus said. So if we know that we are created with a God-given purpose, when we eat an apple, there are seeds inside the apple. If we plant one seed, then a tree full of apples, full of seeds, full of trees, full of apples, full of seeds, full of trees, full of apples, full of seeds, will come out of that one seed. So you are one seed in which God has already ordained to bring you forth for such a time as this. Man, it is so important more than ever, I think, that we keep going, that we're motivated by what God has placed in us, how Christ has brought us salvation. He has called us into being for such a time as this. The earth needs us. There are people out there that need us, people that need to hear your voice. They need the stories that you tell, because if you tell your stories, it comes with lessons you've already learned. It comes with testimonies and experiences that they can use for their own life. There are people that can hear you. There's a place where you're celebrated. There's a people group that might be who you were. It might be who you are now. It might be totally different, but they can hear the frequency of your voice and they need what you have to say. So where do you find momentum? What gets you so excited? What are the people that you absolutely love to serve? And what is it you love doing for them? And who walks away from your presence changed and better than before? So I pray that motivates you to keep going, that there are people that need you. It's not about where you work right now or what's happening right now. You have a bigger purpose and a bigger vision and a great big dream inside of you. Let that keep you going. But Joseph, he didn't see, Joseph had big dreams with big purpose, and his brothers betrayed him, threw him in a pit. He went to prison. He was sold into slavery. A whole series of negative incidents until he was until he became the savior during a massive world drought. He became the savior of surrounding nations and of Egypt. And so the thing is he could have just identified with where he was. He could have identified with the bad things that were happening, the betrayal, the slavery. He could have identified with what he saw physically around him. But instead, he identified with the visions God had given him in his youth, the person he knew he was destined to be. Same with King David. He was anointed king by Samuel, but it was, 25 years or something. He actually was coronated king. Why? He had to become king. He was anointed king. He had to become king. He had to become that man. He was on the run. He was in wars. He was on the run from the King Saul, who wanted to kill him. All these things had to happen. His character had to be tested. He had to develop in certain ways. His heart had to be sure, and he had to be the person that Israel would need to take them into this, into their destiny. So there's so many stories like that, and you are one of them. You are brought forth for a purpose. It is not about the family you came from. It's about the God who formed and fashioned you in the womb to make a special expression of his own character, especially that you would provide his solution from him, from his goodness, for such a time as this. There are many pains and problems in the earth, man, now more than ever. And the more you draw near to him, He can reflect His love, His wisdom, His unique solution to a particular problem or pain that you come to Him with, that He puts on your heart. So I encourage you, do not stop. Keep going. Where you are now is not the end of the story. You are not defined by your history. You're not defined by your environment now. Look to the Lord and look to the destiny for which He has created you, and begin to pour into people. Begin to invest in people. Invest in yourself. Grow yourself. Develop in those skills, languages, attributes, characteristics, aspects of health or relationships where you need to grow, because you know it's a part of the call of God on your life. But you matter. You matter right now. You matter to a people who need you. There are people waiting for you to step into your destiny and grow. This is truth. Don't just define your life by what you see with your eyes. See with your heart. See with the dream placed deep inside you. And let me see, there was something else I felt like I had written here. You know, it's important to understand what's driving you. Is it something that you came up with? Is the agenda you serve someone else's idea for you? Or do you feel like God is calling you to something and you're moving in that direction? And you know, reach out to other people. Encourage other people. Keep going. You matter. And reach out to other people when you need encouragement, when you need prayer. I have great friends. We call each other. We text each other when we need prayer. And it's so important. You can't do this alone. All right? God bless you.